arrangements can often have one purpose, like a wedding or a celebration of life. Now, a woman in Sioux City is making the most of those arrangements that are donated to her.
Well, meteorologist Jacob Howard helped her make arrangements and pass out flowers at a local nursing home.
Yep.
Robin Lieber takes flower arrangements to several nursing homes in the area. As part of Sweet Like Honey, she takes apart bigger arrangements and builds personalized size ones called Twice Blessed bouquets.
I think flowers are about the best thing on earth.
Here you go, sir. At Charter Senior Living, I went to help hand them out.
I think it was something to look forward to and appreciate that things are given more than once. You know, the shelf life of fresh flowers isn't very long, and to be able to be given twice makes it even more special.
Sweet Like Honey makes the most of each flower arrangement given to the nonprofit. Families and funeral homes and strangers donate the flowers.
Because I sit on that bench, Jacob, when I do it, and sometimes I cry because it's a sad situation. But I pray for them because they're going through a whole new season without that person. And that I consider it a true honor to get to give back love to other people because in honor of their loved one.
And they see all of this as sadness, and now you get to rechange it into happiness. Lieber is the woman behind the mission.
To create a culture of kindness in Siouxland that includes everybody.
Adding a handwritten note to each bouquet, carefully crafted. I think this should be cut a little bit.
It is a little bit tall.
Ready to pass out the flowers to seniors and even to strangers in the area.
I had 10 bouquets and I said, Lord, you just have to show me where to go. But I went to Scooters and I went through the drive-thru and I got up there and I just said, could I bless you girls with a bouquet of flowers? Oh my gosh, those are for us.
Proving kindness can go a long way if you help spread it. In South Sioux City, Nebraska, Jacob Howard with Chief Photographer Acacia Phillips, KTIV News 4.
What a great idea. Sweet Like Honey has been awarded a $10,000 grant from the Missouri River Historical Development for a future storefront location. If you'd like to donate to the nonprofit or follow along on Lieber's journey passing out kindness with those flowers, you can find her Facebook group in the story at ktiv.com.